Good morning, Facebook Live. This is Robin Kirby Gatto. Oh my goodness, I feel amazing. Join me today in feeling amazing. I cannot wait to share this news with you, and I pray that you are blessed as you join in and be hopeful and expectant. I'm going to be sharing some health and wellness stuff, but I'm also going to be making an analogy as it relates to your destiny. And it is a step up week, right, saints of God? Step up. It is a step up week. Say it. It'll make you feel good. Step up. It'll make you feel so good. And so a couple of things I'm going to share with you. Hold on one second. I'm going to wait till this light turns red so I can cross the street. It's so funny because they have the button over here in the grass. Press the button. Let me let this car get across. Okay, so a couple things. I've watched David Sinclair, medical doctor, leading research in longevity for a couple years, actually for 3 years. But I decided to get his book, Lifespan, because in my master's degree in social work, I specialized in the aging track. And so my whole last year was with the aging track, and the first year in master's program was taking general classes, you know, statistics and therapies, different therapies, group therapy, individual therapies. It was good. And also research, statistics and research. And so in my last year in aging, I did a lot of research and I actually took an independent grant writing course that I created and was approved by the dean of the School of Social Work, where I had written a thick book that thick of a grant that was actually accepted by a particular hospital system and was implemented for home health for elderly. It was called Aging in Place. And I worked with the Commission on Aging for a long time. I was wanting to be, for a moment, the state commissioner on aging, and that's an appointed position. Whoever's governor gets to appoint that person. But at any rate, things went the way they did, and I went into ministry. And it's a good thing I did because I just love what I do. But just FYI, here's some new information. And so God has got me back into aging, but in a good way. Aging with longevity. And so I'm going to try to finish David Sinclair's book this week. But oh my goodness, it is beyond phenomenal. And before you buy it, it is very intellectual. So I'm just warning you, it's not as an easy read as Stephen Gundry's book in Unlocking the Keto Code, but it is very, very good. And if you love that kind of stuff, then it is totally for you. So at any rate, I'm going to talk about a product that Rich and I have been doing a couple of weeks and my results. And I am not a doctor, so talk to your doctor about this. I am just giving you a subjective review of what I've experienced and what I've added to our daily supplementation. And before I give you that information, and we are going to get into Walking with Wisdom and apply this in a spiritual analogy to our destiny. So hold on, I'm still going to do that. Let me just get over here. I do not want to get by this Unity Church. I would normally stop here just to let you hear me speak, but I don't want to stop at this Unity Church. God, bring truth to the people that attend this church. In Jesus' name, bring truth. Oh my goodness. It smelled like marijuana. So at any rate, I'm going to get over here. I'm going to stop in just a second when I get in the shade. And so the new supplement that I've added to mine and Rich's daily regime in the morning is called NMN. Some of y'all might have heard about it. It's hard to say at first because you're so used to saying M&N, M-N-M. So it's hard to get used to saying NMN when you're so used to saying M and M, okay? But you do. And so NMN stands for nicotinamide mononucleotide. Nicotinamide mononucleotide. Do not worry. You will not be tested on this, okay? But at any rate, let me just give you a brief history about this. I'm not going to get into all the science, but I just want to get into the generals, okay? And so there has been what's called a survivor gene within our DNA, within our chromosomes, within our genome system. There's a survivor gene, okay? And at first, scientists just thought this particular coding of the DNA was just, they didn't know what it was. They didn't think it was important. Well, it turns out it is very important that there are these certain codes, expressions of genes within our DNA that are survivor genes, otherwise known as longevity genes, that you're able to live long. And so one of the special things about this gene, as they talk about two survivor genes, gene A and gene B. And gene A turns off reproduction, and gene B turns off gene A, which means there's reproduction, but also gene B repairs DNA. So there's this thing called sirtuins, and they act just like this expression of the longevity gene, the survivor gene, gene B. And so it allows reproduction and it repairs the DNA. And so the way that Sinclair analogizes it is he talks about our DNA as we get older. We lose the ability of the sirtuins to repair DNA because a particular substance in our body, and I'm not going to get into all this, but it's called NAD. It allows these sirtuins to be triggered so that our DNA can be repaired, okay? So as a result, we lose these and this ability, and our DNA is considered like a back of a CD that's now scratched. I don't know if you've ever put a DVD in, and if you have a DVD that's been scratched, it'll skip or it won't play and it'll freeze. And so Davis and Sinclair compares our DNA and the ability of it to be read by the RNA and for the appropriate amino acids and proteins and polypeptides, all of that, which I discuss polypeptides, proteins, and amino acids in Mindfulness, Mind of Christ in detail. I love getting into all that. And so, as a result, our DNA doesn't repair and we age, okay? Well, NMN triggers this NAD that ends up activating and increasing sirtuins. So now you have this survivor gene, this longevity gene that's able to heal and repair your DNA. And I've heard many reviews where those that are on this NMN, I'm not going to even try to pronounce it. I did it before, okay? Nicotinamide mononucleotide. It's a tongue twister, okay? But at any rate, I have been feeling amazing. I've only done it 2 weeks. And again, talk to your doctor. I'm just giving you my review. I'm not telling you to take the supplement. I'm just going to share this in my experience, but I'm also going to get into walking with wisdom. And so I feel absolutely amazing. And last night, it was like this cool breeze was in my mind and all on my face and my head. And I heard one other person say the exact thing. And I could only think about Adam in the cool of the day as he was walking with God and how he was in the pure Ruach HaKodesh, and that pure oxygen, and how his mind had to be so clear and his just cognitive skills were at their optimal. Yesterday, normally I do a booster drink like Drip by Astroflav that I've mentioned before. It's similar to OxyShred. Normally I do that in the afternoon, and I didn't have to do it. I didn't even think about it yesterday. I just had this clean energy, is the only way I can describe it. And even when I went to bed, even though I had this clean energy, and as I laid my head on my pillow, I felt this coolness in my mind and around my face. It was just this coolness is all I can describe it. And so I've just been so amazed at just the results I've had in 2 weeks. I cannot wait to see what happens in a year. I'm just so super excited. But now let's take this to your destiny, okay? And just like David Sinclair talks about, as a result of losing these sirtuins and the ability of this longevity gene to help you survive and live for a long time and to repair your DNA, it's like scratched pieces, like scratches on a DVD. That is the exact way it is for your destiny, okay? For those of y'all who have Just Be and mindfulness, oh my goodness, just get ready, especially Just Be. And say you're going into Just Be or into mindfulness, and you're not really sure about your destiny. You kind of have an idea. But the tree of the knowledge of good and evil that's within our members, the spiritual disease, which will be in the third book, the forbidden fruit, the spiritual disease, and it will expound on it even more. It's just going to be mind-blowing. It puts scratches on the information of our destiny. And it's hard for us to hear clearly, to have the cool of the day, ruach, that we walk in with God, where we're able to know clearly, without a doubt, what is our destiny. And so let's look at the word of truth and it repairing what I talk about as DNA in mindfulness, the mind of Christ, with RNA. I bring those two things in. And so DNA stands for the definition of the nature of your absoluteness. Hey, beautiful dog. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Is it a she or he?
Sorry?
A she or he? He is beautiful. Man, that was you too. Beautiful dog. And so in Mindfulness, Mind of Christ, when I talk about DNA, and it's in chapter 4, as I talk about neuropeptides and informational signaling and how the G protein coupled receptor stores memories in your body where your emotions are derived. You think your emotions are just feelings, and they're actually memories that are unpacking. And so I talk about DNA being the definition of the nature of your absoluteness, the definitiveness. It is definitive of who you are, okay? And I talk about RNA being the reading of the nature of your absoluteness. So it's like putting the DVD into the DVD player, and it's read by the DVD player. And so the definition of who you are is on that DVD, but it's scratched up by the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And so it's hard for you to understand. It's hard for you to hear. You're not walking in the cool of the day. Ruach. You're not in that place of certainty, okay? You're in randomness and uncertainty. And that in information theory, and it's funny because David Sinclair talks about information theory, and he actually uses Shannon Claude, which I mentioned Shannon Claude, but he's not the father of information theory, but a lot of people credit him as being the father of information theory. Actually, Harry Nyquist is, and I talk about Harry Nyquist in detail in my book, Mindfulness, the Mind of Christ, using information theory for the information in the body that's at the G protein coupled receptor that is determining your perception and your behavior, okay? And I bring in and briefly mention Shannon Claude, who took the work of Harry Nyquist and just extended on it. But I talk about information theory, and when you have chaos, entropy, when you have scratches on your DVD by the tree of the knowledge of good and evil about who you are, the definition of the nature of your absoluteness, who am I, what did God create me to be, then you're going to have randomness and uncertainty. So what does that mean? You're going to put symbolism to all that happens in your life, and you're going to connect the dots and interpret it to the negative most times because of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and that part of you that says I'm bad, which is the opposite of I'm good. The entire tree is bad. The good part of the tree is still bad, but you're going to default to the bad interpretation, and so you're going to walk in uncertainty. You're not going to walk in that pure ruach, the cool of the day. And so as a result, the definition of who you are is scratched up. And so I compare the RNA, the messenger RNA, as the memories, memories that read the nature of your absoluteness. You don't realize it, but memories in your body, in your present mood, your present personality, are reading who you are in that one moment. That's why you cannot stay in a poor place, a down place, a bad place. You have to work immediately to get out of that place. And so the definition of who you are is like the DVD, and the actual DVD player is that mRNA. It's who you are in the present moment, and that memory that's active in your person, that it is reading that DVD and who you are. So watch this. If you go through the pruning process or the buffering process and get that DVD polished by the word of truth, get the scratches out, you're going to know who you are, and you're going to step up to the plate. Listen, when there's a ball player, and let's just say he hits home runs, grand slams all the time, he's not going to walk up pensive to the plate and go, oh, let me get up here. No, he's going to have his chest out, or she, it could be a softball player. They're going to have their chest out, and they're going to be strutting up to the plate, and they're going to be doing the bat on the home plate, and they're going to swing, and they're going to intimidate the other team and let them know and send them a message. I'm about to knock this out of the park. I'm about to step up and do what I do. Well, guess what? That's who you are in your destiny. When you get set free from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, bit by bit, in your self-image, where you're going to step up to the plate, and you're going to know who you are, and you're going to step up and you're going to knock it out of the park, and that is what you need to do. Do you hear that? That is phenomenal. That is what you need to do. And so, as I end here today, let the word repair your heart. Just like sirtuins repair DNA, let the word heal the definition of the nature of your absoluteness, your self-image, who you are. And as you let the word sirtuin, let it heal and repair you. Woo! Oh my goodness. You're going to read things correctly in the ruach, cool of the day. And you're going to walk with a God confidence, and you're going to step up and knock it out of the park. Woo! In Jesus' mighty name, the Son of God. Woo! God bless you. I love you.